Hello, my name is Matt Brazel, and I'm a senior digital solution consultant here at ServiceNow. I'm here today to talk about the Vancouver release, specifically a feature inside of our enterprise asset management solution known as linear asset management. Today's presentation may contain forward-looking statements that are based on ServiceNow's current beliefs, assumptions, and information available to us, and these statements should not be used in any purchasing decisions. Now, before we get too deep into what linear asset management inside of EAM is coming along with, I wanted to quickly define what a linear asset is. And a linear asset is an asset that has a physical length or dimension, such as roads, railways, pipelines, power transmission lines, and telecommunication networks. These assets are often characterized by their linear topology, which means that they have a defined starting point and end point and can be represented as a sequence of interconnected segments or nodes. Now, inside of the new Vancouver release, we're going to offer the capability to manage these assets inside of enterprise asset management. And this is going to allow our customers to efficiently track and manage these linear assets for any analysis or maintenance that may need to apply. This is also going to allow our customers to identify asset sections with any offsets based on any distance or coordinates associated to linear assets. And it's also going to be able to generate, find, and connect linear relationships like parallel, intersecting, and split assets. Additionally, you're going to have the capability to associate discrete, serialized, or consumable assets to a linear assets relationship point. Ultimately, the purpose of this is to provide our customers with the opportunity to manage these linear assets all on the same platform that we know and love. To start today's demo, I'm inside of the Enterprise Asset Workspace, and I wanted to start us off by highlighting the out-of-the-box linear asset types. This will be very similar to what we saw in slides. We have railroad, railway, sewer, sidewalk, trail, and utility cable. Now, I do want to call out that if there's a linear asset that you are looking to manage that is not in this list, you can absolutely create new linear asset types. If I step into the linear assets tab, this is going to be a list of all of my linear assets along with a map containing visual representations of where these linear assets are in the world. Now, stepping into a linear asset record, we're going to take a walkthrough of some of the information that we have here in these fields. First, we have the name of the linear asset as well as the associated linear asset type. In this case, we're looking at a roadway. We have the location this asset is in, as well as the life cycle stage of this asset, whether it's in use, being repaired, whatever the case may be. We're going to provide visibility into what stage of the life cycle this linear asset is in. You can use markers to indicate the start and end point of these linear assets. You can also use geo-coordinates, and this geo map that we have on the right side of our screen is going to help visualize where in the world specifically does this linear asset start and end, and it's going to display various features such as landforms, bodies of water, cities, roads, and other geographical elements surrounding that linear asset. In order to get this line inside of the system, you can either draw a linear asset to define the coordinates, pick up a segment start and end markers, pick up markers for discrete assets, and you'll also have the ability to review related assets such as discrete assets, overlapping assets, intersecting, continuing, and segments of other linear assets. We'll also track any activity that's gone on inside of this linear asset, whether there's a request, an incident, whatever the system has going on inside of the activity relating to this asset, we'll be able to present that out here. We also have a find relationships button. This is where we could associate this linear asset to other assets in the specific location and essentially finding out, hey, is this parallel to anything else? Intersecting, continuing, or even a segment of a larger linear asset. Other information that we have here is defining the linear segments. So if this was a much larger linear asset, we'd be able to chop it up into individual sections and understand the length of each individual segment. We also have the opportunity to associate discrete, serialized, or consumable assets that may be along the way of this linear asset. Think of things such as cones, signs, things of that nature that may need to be managed alongside of the linear asset itself. We can also come in and see any of the relationships that were generated as part of the system, as well as being able to understand what linear assets are relating to the specific one that we are looking at here today, as well as any markers or what specific asset that relationship is pertaining to. Now, as part of the Vancouver release, we have released workflows relating to linear assets. Specifically, I'd like to call out the onboarding and offboarding of these linear assets, essentially making it easier to adopt the solution and bring in and take out linear assets that you want to start or end managing. That concludes today's release video of linear asset management inside of enterprise asset management on the ServiceNow platform. Thank you so much for your time.